Episode 4. The Love Potion. Although Lila's voice was not loud, Serena felt all kinds of emotions. In her previous lifetime, Lila had simply broken in during Jake's shower. Then, Lila had loudly announced that Serena had drugged and raped her newly wedded husband. Jake, who had been suspicious in the beginning, had hated Serena even more. "Do you need something?" Jake repeated his question. Lila was smiling reluctantly. She pretended to move her arm back, seeming to hide something. She shook her head and said, "Nothing." Jake quickly looked to her hand behind her back, but said nothing. Seeing that he did not want to ask, Lila was a bit anxious. She simply threw the thing in her hand on the floor, which then broke. Lila screamed, as if she was startled. "What should I do?" Glancing at what was on the floor, Jake immediately saw the words on the broken bottle. It was the most popular love potion at the time. Although Jake was no expert, he had heard of it. And Lila was carrying this with her. As if she was afraid that Jake might get the wrong idea, Lila quickly waved her hands. "Jake, please don't get the wrong idea. This is not mine. I'm just keeping it for Serena." "Keeping what for me?" Serena walked up from behind and opened the door wider. From the angle Lila was standing at, she could see the blood stain on the wedding bed and the messy bed linens. The flame of jealousy suddenly rose. Lila smiled reluctantly and said, "It's just what you left on the table yesterday. I'm afraid that Aunt might see it, so I just took it away for you." The eyes of Jake fell on Serena's face like a lightning bolt. However, he did not see any proof on her face. Her black eyes were bright and clear like a spring, without any impurity. Hearing Lila's words, she seemed to be doubtful. Squatting down, she picked the pieces up. "What is this? What is this for?" Although she said that, Serena had already recognized what it was. She cast her eyes down and remained calm. Curiously, she looked up at Lila innocently. Lila was slightly surprised, but reacted quickly and said, "Of course I would have no idea. How would I know what this kind of thing is for?" "This kind of thing?" Serena was even more suspicious and quickly asked, "What is this kind of thing then?" Lila gritted her teeth and felt very surprised. How come this foolish girl reacted so quickly today? Something seemed to be different. However, what was it? She looked down and saw Serena's face was slightly blushing. Her tender skin looked extremely fresh. At 20 years of age, she was like a fruit. From her angle, Lila could see the blue marks under Serena's collar. Lila gritted her teeth and felt extremely jealous. It was this bottle of love potion that helped Serena climb into Jake's bed. However, her goal was not to help Serena get into his bed, but to make Jake resent Serena. "Not yours? But I saw yesterday that you poured this into the drink you gave to Jake. Was I mistaken?" "Did I pour any drinks yesterday?" Serena asked. "You gave me those 2 drinks, didn't you?" Lila's heart was almost in her throat. She looked at Serena in surprise. This woman, when did she become so smart? Not only did she not fall for the trap, she managed to set Lila up. With cold sweat falling from her forehead, Lila looked down and saw the kissing marks on Serena's collarbone again. Lila gritted her teeth and decided to push it further. "You asked me to pour the drinks for you, didn't you, Serena? I thought of you as my good friend. How come you—" Jake looked at Serena sharply with eyes like an eagle. Disappointed, Serena had already had her answer. One was his childhood sweetheart, and the other his newly wedded wife, who had only spent 3 days with him. Who would he believe? The answer was obvious. Willing to reconcile, Serena stood up. Under the fierce gaze of Jake, she rebutted. "What did I do? You are the weird one, knocking on the door of a newly wedded couple. If I didn't know any better, I would assume you have some agenda." Lila suddenly became pale. Is this Serena? The original Serena? 3 days later, she had undergone such a huge change. She had become more mature, sophisticated, and intelligent. She led the topic naturally to question Lila. Such EQ and IQ were so different from that unruly girl Lila remembered her to be. Could Lila be making a mistake? No. Impossible. This stupid girl must have been frightened already. After all, if Jake believed he was drugged by Serena, then Serena never would have another opportunity to win him over. Everyone had a bottom line, while Jake's bottom line was mysterious. However, any scheme would piss him off, no matter how big or small. Blinking, Lila suddenly had a sullen look on her face. How could I have any agenda? Serena, why did you say that? That is so hurtful. Lila's eyes became red, and her tears started to drop. I was only a bit upset. If I said something to make you unhappy, just tell me. She then looked to Jake and said with tears, Jake, sorry. I thought even if you marry another woman, we could still be like before. However, I did not realize. Serena's heart sank. What a girl! With just a few words, Lila seemed to be explaining, but actually put all the responsibility on Serena. Sniffing her nose, Lila squatted hurriedly and said, I accidentally broke the bottle. It would be horrible if any elders saw it. I will take care of it right away. The more she said it like that, the more sullen she looked. As Lila was about to pick the pieces up, she heard a cold voice. Stand up. Jake pulled Lila, looked at Serena and asked, Clean it up. It's okay, Jake. Lila looked bullied with her eyes wide. Serena sneered inwardly and felt impressed. So Lila had such a high level of gameplay 5 years ago. With such an opponent, she did not die for nothing.